Yo, what is up everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. So hope you guys are all having a great day. And yes, so we got the brand new dragons coming out. I'm really excited to talk about them. So first, I'm going to go over just the dragons and what they look like, their elements. We're going to have 2 new dragons and then a rider. And I'm going to explain how you're going to be able to get the Mythic Warrior, which is 2 mythics this season, which is such a money grab. But that's what we're given. I'm going to give my opinions on the dragons in a later video. This is just information. So you got, and I know I'm going to mispronounce these names, but screw it. Prospero, okay? And he is the hunter. He is a fire hunter. Honestly, looks kind of cool. Like, I like the look. It's more simple, which I think just overall in-game looks really cool. I don't really like when it's super intricate and has, like, a bunch of different colors. I think when it's just that, you know, pure one color with, like, some, just a tiny bit of detail, I think personally it looks the best, but other people have different thoughts on it. I really like it. So he's going to be called the Red Death. Now, I'm not going to read all that because what in the world lore is that? Like, I thought lore is supposed to be, like, 3 words, you know what I'm saying? But okay. So it's Sudan's political court is complex. Good to know. Then you got aristocrat, I guess. I kind of see where it's coming from because he does look a little bit like a rat, but this is the warrior, and it's going to be a dark warrior, and this will be the mythic. In order to get the mythic, you have to get the hunter and a rider. It's a little bit different in terms of like how the season works this season. So it's interesting. I don't know how I like it, but that's what we were given. So we have a dark warrior, dark majesty, makes sense. And here are the portraits. So the masked blade dancer, interesting. This is the final portrait, and this is for the hunter. So whenever you're going through getting the hunter dragon, you're going to get this portrait with him. Pretty cool looking. I mean, alright, I guess. I think I like the other portraits that were given out the last rollout with like the Mythic Hunter and all that. I think I like them better, but not too bad. Then we have Lorenzo, and this is the dashing aristocrat, and this is the, I believe, this is going to be the rider. Looks kind of cool. Like, I like the look of him. You know, it's more sinister. It's kind of like, you know, magical. Really like the look of that guy. And then you have the lore right there. Alright, so now what everyone really wants to know. What are their spells? Again, I'm going to give my opinions on them in the video coming after this one, but here we go. Consume. This is the hunter. Keep in mind, this is the hunter. Alright, so spend all remaining ammo and heal based on the amount spent. Gain increased ammo regeneration for the duration of the spell. So basically, it's like, I think up to around 50-60% of your health at max. So if you have a full ammo bar and then you hit this spell, your ammo's going to go down to 0, but it's going to regain quickly. So this is really used whenever you're like turning a corner or in between islands. That's going to be your best bet. So not a bad spell, definitely good for healing hunters especially. Now in Shroud, Dragon becomes invisible and cannot be targeted until it counts. Spell will always go on cooldown. So what I'm trying to figure out is what this means. Spell will always go on cooldown. I'm going to make sure I understand that before I make the video on, you know, what I think about them. But it's an interesting concept, and I think I know what it's talking about, but I'm just going to wait before I say something stupid. Scarlet Fever increases dragon attack damage upon first cast. Recasting the spell will damage and stun nearby towers. So this is one of the, like, we have not had an empowered spell. An empowered spell means it's like 2 different, like, taps. Like, you tap it the first time, and it does something, and then you tap it again to get you another thing, right? So, it's kind of like, you know, on Kaiju, you have that Seething Spark, where, like, the first tap increases your attack, and the second tap, stuns all the towers. This one kind of does the same thing. It increases the dragon's attack damage upon the first cast, and it is white. The second cast is going to be red, and it's going to damage and stun nearby towers. So, looking at this dragon, alright, I'm not supposed to talk about my opinions, but I'm not exactly sure how good this guy's going to be. It really depends on how much of an increase of attack that white spell is going to give. It's really going to depend on that, but I think it's an interesting spell skill combination. Now, you have the adaptive Flack resist, which basically reduces damage dealt by Flack towers. And that is, like, they have one resist, which is 70%, to each individual Flack. And you can switch in between them, and every single time you switch, it gives you 0.5 rage. And I think it's, like, 1.5 seconds, like, in between being able to use it or something like that. So definitely really, really nice for hunters because you can gain that rage back very efficiently, actually. So, yeah, that is the hunter. Now, the warrior. Interesting spell combination. You have the elemental resist, which is ridiculously overpowered. I think PGS caught on that whenever you put that on a warrior, he does not die at all. So, you're going to get that elemental resist, which is 50% damage reduction against all elemental attacks, so all Flacks, all lightning towers, all storms, all ice and fire turrets, literally everything, besides cannons and archers, and trebuchets and ballistas, I think. Yeah, that's the only thing that will do damage to this guy. So yeah, and then you got Mystify, which blinds towers to dodge all non-beam attacks for the duration of the spell, which basically takes care of all the other types of attacks. So basically, if you use Mystify, and again, it completely is dependent on how expensive it is to use these spells, which we'll know tomorrow. But you have a way to dodge all those beam attacks. Then you got Inferno, and keep in mind, it will also go slower during Mystify. Inferno increases Dragon Flamethrower damage for a short time. So you got increased damage, and I'm really hoping that's a lot, because you can see, like, that death. It kind of looks like a death gaze, just modified. So I really, really hope it's a high increase. We'll have to see, though. And I'm really hoping that Mystify, it says all non-beam attacks. So does that mean mage shots? If so, that will be amazing. And then you got Harrowing Bolt, and this is a red spell. Fires a projectile that destroys a randomly chosen tower. So, and the dragon will regain health and rage upon casting. Now, I don't know how effective this is going to be, because you get really unlucky or really lucky with... Sorry guys, my recording went out really quickly. But, so let's say you're attacking a base and you're aiming to save rage by, leaving one mage there, and you're, like, slowly floating by, right? And there's a mage and there's, like, a dark Flack. If you hit this Harrowing Bolt to gain some health and rage back, and it hits the mage instead of the dark Flack, you're not going to have that, like, again, it's not that big of a deal in that, scenario, but in other scenarios, scenario, I don't know, one of those. In different scenarios, it might change the game a little bit in terms of, like, that luck, that random aspect, RNG. So I think that's going to be interesting. Just a quick thing, I think this warrior's going to be really good. But you'll hear my full opinions on the spell sets in a very short while. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know down below what you guys think of this, these dragons, because I think they're pretty cool. I'm really excited for it, and I think that they'll be pretty strong, especially the hunter. I am kind of interested to see how that Enshroud spell works in game. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.